Hi, my name is Alex with Dave Tech Tutorials, and today I'm going to be interviewing Sajit Nair. Now, if you've ever seen any of the Atlassian Ace Whiz Quiz shows on YouTube, then you're probably going to recognize this face. This interview was a blast to do, and I really did learn a whole lot from Sajit, and I can't wait for you to also watch this interview. Are you tired of struggling to present your data in a clear and visually compelling way within JIRA? Look no further. Introducing custom charts for JIRA by our good friends over at Old Street Solutions. They provide the ultimate solution for powerful and customizable data visualization within JIRA. Old Street Solution is the official sponsor for our Thursday Atlassian Community member interviews. Use the link in the description down below to start a free trial of custom charts for JIRA today. Please make sure you subscribe to the channel, drop a like if you get value out of this video, and if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, let me know in the comment section down below. Hey everyone, welcome back to yet another episode here. We are going to be interviewing Sajit Nair. He is part of the Atlassian community. In fact, he's a leader, a very person that I feel lucky and honored to know. He very active in the community, runs the ACE events online and in person, but most specifically runs the ACE quiz, which I participated in last year. It was a lot of fun. Bringing it back this year, so I'm looking forward to hopefully beating. My only objective this year, by the way, is to beat Chris. I feel like I need my revenge. I feel like, honestly, that one was a little rigged because when I look back at the replay, I still feel like I got more points than him. But I feel like the whole Old Street Solutions making it to the finals was rigged from the get-go. So I had no chance winning. But anyways, thank you so much for coming on. Got just a few questions for you. Try to help my audience here understand who the members of the community are, give us some exposure to you, and just help people gain new perspectives of this, right? Because obviously you're in, I would say the other half of the world for me, right? Now we're 12-hour difference here. So I'm interested to see like your thoughts, the way you use JIRA, your analysis and views of Atlassian and stuff like that. So thank you again.
Sure. Awesome. Happy to be here, Alex. Yes, definitely. It's been a pleasure knowing you as well. And say whatever you will, right? It's Chris who introduced us. So yeah.
Yes, it was. Yeah, we do gotta thank Chris for that introduction.
Yeah,
all right,
sure.
So I'm gonna roll things in really easily. Why don't you, especially since you and I mean, we've known each other. Chris made the intro.
Yeah.
Then I participated in the Whiz quiz, but I haven't really had a lot of opportunity to get to know you, other than that couple minutes that we spent at your booth and team. But why don't you start us off with your origin story? Tell us a little about yourself, a little brief intro. Where you come from.
So I am right now in Delhi. I've been here almost all my professional life. I come from a background of I'm an army kid, so that meant a little bit traveling in the country with my father, then settled down in the northern part of the country. Originally from the southern part of India, but I have been like working in Delhi almost all my life. Been in Atlassian ecosystem for almost around 10 years now. In some way, shape, or form. Used to be a user, then became a community leader, then became a marketplace partner. And so back in 2020 or 19, Atlassian had this rule where you couldn't be a community leader if you were a partner. So for a very brief while, I had to drop my community, the Delhi community that I run, and I had to move to an online version of the community. But then me and a couple of other people who suffered the same fate fought back with Atlassian, and Atlassian gave us our credentials back. And then they changed the rules actually. So now marketplace partners can become community leaders, or solution partners can become community leaders. So I became one again. And yeah, I have been a community leader since early part of 2018. And it's 2024 now, so it's been a while. And yeah, I mean, in this journey, I've had the pleasure of working, knowing, and learning all throughout. Right, that was the motivation, the selfish motivation behind me joining the Atlassian community. Just wanted to know a couple of hotshot people, then ended up being friends with them. So it really is a very fulfilling journey that has been for me.
Yeah, it's quite interesting that Atlassian has like these rules. Like I understand the rules, but it's like at the same time we're like they're free evangelists, if you will, right? Like we promote their brand, their
Of
products,
course.
their mission more than anything. So you would think that they'd be like, come at whatever you want to do, just do it.
I
Um,
know, I get that because like I spoke to a couple of people and there was few bad apples back in the day because of which this rule was put into place. But then Atlassian realized that maybe the people are or the community itself is mature enough to make that change. And I'm glad it happened, right? Not just for me myself, but a lot of my friends who are running communities are part of marketplace communities or marketplace partners. And just because you change job shouldn't mean that you leave the community, right? So, like,
right.
since 2018, I was working with the Delhi community. We have a very active WhatsApp group, like with 300, 400 people in it who keep asking me questions. And I am now indebted to that group of people because in my current role, I do a lot of trainings. So, I do a lot of implementations, configurations, consulting, right? And a lot of those examples that I use in those trainings come from those questions that people ask me, real world problems, real world examples, use case. And that was
That's,
my motivation
yeah,
back in the day. But
that's the
yeah,
secret to my success is I most of my videos at this point, a little over 50% of my videos on YouTube are because somebody's searching a question.
yeah,
But I'm answering the questions that the community has.
of course.
So great. That's really awesome. I'm actually still trying to become a member of the community leaders program because, as you know, it comes with a lot of great benefits. But holy moly, I just don't have time. I don't have time to go and answer. Like I answer so many questions, just not in the community website. But
Yeah.
like all my other videos, I'm like I'm like begging Atlassian at this point, like please, please, please let me in. Like I'm
I'm
not.
sure San Diego would have an in-person community though as well, right?
Yeah, San Diego does. We actually just had one last week. With Scrum,
Oh, okay.
but man, this
Nice.
pandemic has just ruined me because I looked at it, I was like, that's a 35-minute drive. I don't want to drive for 35 minutes.
Oh man, nice. That's true. I mean, in some way, shape, or form, that's true.
In all honesty, I mean, I don't know how it is in India, right? But here, like LA is very well known for its traffic. San Diego is not any better than LA. So just looking at it, like that 35-minute drive is really well, it's like 25 miles. So I was like, well, that's going to be closer to an hour, really,
Yeah.
traffic. So
Almost the same case in Delhi because obviously the people, right? And but the good thing about Delhi, and it's a very weird thing which I've not seen anywhere else. Only in India you'll see this. Community events happen only on the weekends, so we don't ever do any weekday events because
that's
if we do, people will not be able to switch off from their day job and come to the
yeah,
events,
yeah. Ours
right?
are
But
in.
but outside India, I don't see that. Only people attend events on
Yeah,
weekdays.
ours are in the evening, right? So this one was a two-part, right? It was Adaptivist, I believe, was running it, and they did like a scripper thing in the beginning. They had like a from like noon to like 5 p.m. It's like an event, and then from 5 to 7, the ACE event started. So it was like a
Right.
really long day. So like you lose basically the whole workday, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
so
yeah,
yeah, but
yeah.
I wouldn't mind doing it on a Saturday, right? Going for 8 hours on a Saturday.
Right.
Right.
We used to like back in the days, 2019, I think, and before pandemic, like we would do like a full day workshop kind of thing. We would go to a place, and we have like this specific place where we prefer to go in Delhi. We go there, they would serve you coffee and like sandwiches. We'll have those. Start with a session, take a break, do like networking, have lunch, then another session, then have evening coffee,
Mm.
and come back home. Like you basically are just doing dinner that day at home.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're spending the whole day out.
Maybe I'm gonna connect with the guy from that runs it. I didn't meet. I believe his name's Mark. He works at Qualcomm or something like that
Okay.
here in San Diego. So he's like, yeah, you should come. And I'm like, I had every intention of coming this time around, but man, it's hard. Like I just leaving the house is something that I just don't particularly enjoy doing anymore.
Yeah, you can
Um,
do virtual also, right? That was the idea behind the quiz that we started. That so that I don't have to get out of the house, but
yeah,
people from Delhi can meet you, like for that
right,
matter,
right.
right? The cross connection can happen.
And it's a great connection because like just through that whiz quiz, right? Like I got to meet Manar, right, from your team, and then Easy Agile, Holly, no,
Haley Rod,
I'm sorry with an H, right? So I got the new friendship. Obviously with Chris, it's been a very strong friendship, right? That
of
we
course.
just
Yeah,
kind of forged there as well. And then this year, Data is who I'm partnering up with. Came out of left field. I've never met her in my life, never talked to her in my life, but I asked, I'm
nice,
like, anybody want to be my team? She raised her hand. I said, you got it. Let's do it.
nice.
And so I'm anticipating that a really good bond and friendship there is going to be started as well. Just again from this event that you put on that if I had to be in New Delhi, I would have totally missed out on it.
We would
But
love to have you in Delhi, though. By the way, just FYI, like
if,
we keep on saying, everybody. I got these magnets, fridge magnets made, and I give them out to people. Like, hey, you gotta come to Delhi. You cannot just keep doing AC events outside. Come to India. You let me know. I'll make sure that you get.
you are joining the list of a bunch of people I have a lot of friends that live in India. And they're like, you gotta come. I'm like, if I
Nice.
go, I will honestly lose like 50 pounds because I cannot eat spicy food. And I'm just gonna like look at your food and go, nope, nope, no, no spicy.
But you get milder
I'm
options in
Mexican,
India
dude. I
also.
am Mexican. Our food is all spicy too, and I
Yeah,
can't
yeah,
like
yeah.
my wife makes me a special little non-spicy batch for me. So I don't know,
Nice.
but doshas.
Yeah,
That
dosa. That's right.
I would be
That's
there
where
in a
I'm from
heartbeat.
originally.
I would be there
Saturday,
for in
South
a
India.
minute. Yeah, I would
Nice.
go real right now for a dosha.
Nice. I cook. I cook a
Yeah,
lot, and I cook. Those are all Southern India recipes, and those are my specialty. That's what I do.
yeah. No, my neighbors, good friends of ours, they had a birthday party last year, and they brought somebody to make them. And I was like, "What is this
Nice.
deliciousness? It's like an Indian quesadilla. It's so awesome." I loved it. All right, well, bringing
Nice.
it back to this conversation here.
Yes.
What's your favorite Atlassian memory in your 10-year journey here?
Ooh.
What's the one thing that stands out to you the most? Like, what's your most cherished memory?
Well, there will be quite a few,
You
honestly,
gotta pick
but
one.
the memory, I don't know. I mean, like, there's no one specific memory that I would want to pick over the other, but one specific moment that I would say. So I don't know if you know, but I actually married my co-leader. My co-leader from Delhi is my wife.
Really?
So yeah, Atlassian actually, obviously, in that case, no, that
No,
has
look
made
at
a
that.
big impact. We used to do events together, and I mean, like, we were friends before that as well. But yeah, we really got close, and we ended up marrying each other. And now we have a baby. So Atlassian obviously has a had a big role, or community has had a big role in my growth as a person, as an individual, and as a uh, as a somebody who works in this ecosystem as a consultant as well. So yeah, I mean, like, just organizing events, just mundane moments make me happy. Just organizing an event, and like I'll give you an example. On Saturday we had a community event, and it was my daughter's first event because she's 3 months old now. We took her to the event with an Atlassian onesie that Atlassian had sent to us,
No,
and we took her to the event, and like, it was her first community event as a leader. So we said she's the youngest community leader ever at 3 months old. And yeah, that memory will stay with me forever. Like, just regular mundane stuff, meeting people and like talking about stuff with, like, obviously Meghna is there, my life partner is there, so it makes those small connections very meaningful as well.
so much to unpack there. One, congrats on the baby.
Thank you so much.
Congrats on the marriage. My wife and I, not through Atlassian, but we share a similar experience. We both met in college, and we were both engineers, and we both had the same major, and we both had the same like. So she's
Nice.
actually my partner in crime, right? So she edits all this
Nice.
stuff. She's
Awesome.
we're making our very first plugin, so she's out there coding it up, doing everything.
Nice.
So Atlassian has definitely we are an Atlassian household. here as well.
Yes.
My kids know everything about Jira, and I got them in the tool, and we use Jira for everything, and it unifies our family as well. So
Yes.
I can
Totally
definitely
agreed.
relate there. I wonder though, like you got to think of like Mike and um, Scott,
Scott.
right? When they're making 20 years ago now, when they're making Jira, the impact that this would have like on generations, right? Like
Yeah.
there would be
Yeah. Yeah.
my kids are
So,
gonna grow up with Jira, right? It's what
of
food.
course. Right. So I was actually telling this to Mike. So this Teams, I was lucky enough to sit on the same table as Mike,
I
and
saw that.
Delhi
Very,
had,
very jelly.
yes. So Delhi won the Atlassian Community of the Year, setting the standard award. So I didn't know this, but ideally, or not ideally, I think this is usually what they do. They have separate tables, and they have like one person from Atlassian or like a leadership sit in all the tables, right? And there are cards with your name next to it. So it was me and Andy Gladstone, who again won the community award for online contributions. He was there, and I was there, and we were just sitting next to Mike. And the whole night, we just kept on talking about stuff. He's Australian, so obviously we spoke about cricket, we spoke about basketball, we spoke about Atlassian intelligence, and then we started going like personal stuff. He started telling us about like his family and like his house, and we started discussing how I married my co-leader. Actually, somebody announced that Delhi community leader, he's married to his wife, and they won. And like he asked me like, how did you meet? And I started telling him like how important these things are that we do, like to the point that me and Meghna use Trello to manage our finances. When we got married, we did all the planning in Jira and Trello. We still use Trello for our baby's feeding chart. We use it like it does for everything, right? And I don't think when the makers thought of it that all right, this will help a software developer build a product. That's not what it's being
Right.
used for.
It was just tracking bugs. They were just trying to build software that worked.
Indeed.
Yeah, no, it's amazing. I absolutely love this. And I don't see this with any other tool. I've been in the IT my entire career,
Yeah.
10 years, 13 years here in IT, and I've used Visual Studio, I've used everything, Jenkins, everything under the sun, and I don't see those bringing
Yes.
communities and families together.
Yeah, 100%, 100%.
It's crazy.
There are companies I think that have now seen Atlassian's impact and the how community has impacted Atlassian and are trying to emulate that. But I think they are very, very different kind of a communities and
It's hard to
how
copy.
organic.
Yeah,
Right. It's hard to copy. It's so organic. I don't think that can be copied.
yeah. Well, okay. So this question is not going to make a whole lot of sense, but kind of I've already foreshadowed it a little bit, right? But why Atlassian, right? Like so many other tools, so many other opportunities, Monday.com, ClickUp. Why settle here? Why did you pick Atlassian?
Honestly, I didn't. So I
Didn't click
did
for
my
you?
fair share of I didn't settle. I did my fair share of research. And so again, my role does not make me a Atlassian admin. My role at the end of the day, I'm an official agile coach. I'm an SPC. I help teams transition into digital transformation, and like a part of it is delivering using what tool, and my preferred tool has been Atlassian. Before that, I did try my hands in other tools, but it was for a very short period that I'll try a new tool and like, nope, not compared to Atlassian, not good enough, move on. Then somebody else will say, hey, Monday.com is good. Did you try that? Maybe we will try that. And I'll go with a company and like, while doing trainings and everything, we'll try Monday.com. Sometimes it will work. I'll not be very like biased towards Atlassian as well. But overall, the biggest chunk of the people that I've worked with, and in my current role, obviously, I dedicatedly use Atlassian tools to deploy scaled agile solutions or agile solutions, and like help teams deliver products faster. And
Yeah.
Atlassian has been the best in that. So I did try and test, then decided, okay, this is the better one. Maybe this is where I need to grow my career.
No, awesome. Yeah, I actually so I started my career with TFS, Team Foundation Server,
Yeah.
which is now Azure DevOps. I like their implementation of Agile more, and I've actually made videos of them like I like this more than Jira. But Jira just pulls me right back in every time, and I've never like I just have never had the chance to even invest time to go look
Yeah.
at another tool, right? Because I'm
True.
just so overwhelmed with all the work I have to do with Jira videos that even cheating on Jira feels guilty at this point. Oh
Oh
man,
my God. I don't think anybody has ever said this in a sentence. Alex cheating on
you heard it here
cheating.
first. We'll make sure we clip it up as a YouTube short and a little TikTok. Alex cheating on Jira with Azure DevOps. All right.
Oh my God.
What's the biggest lesson that you've had since you started out in this 10-year career? What's one mistake that you can call out that you probably got a good lesson out of it?
Uh, so I've always been a person who will never shut up if he sees anything wrong, right? So like my official IT career has been what now 14 years, out of which 10 is Atlassian. Uh, I used to be a person who would make noise at the drop of a hat, like this is wrong, this is wrong. I will not do this. I will not do this. I will not let anybody do this. I have mellowed down over time, and I have realized there are repercussions to just being right is not always the best solution for your team. That that understanding took a while to come. Like me being right does not mean that's the best thing for my team, and when I learned that, I think it was one of the things which was groundbreakingly impactful for the way the teams worked. So I started focusing more towards process than just the focusing towards outcome. Right? This is not, and that I don't know. Maybe it was me. It just took me a little while. I always thought if I am right, if I am doing things right, things should be right. But in a team, that's not the only way it works. There are 10 more people with their own personal journeys, their own learnings and everything. And it matters what the team's output is rather than just your output. So yeah, that is one thing that I would say.
That's interesting because I I would say I'm 50-50 there. I'm a firm believer in team, right? Like everybody has a good voice, a equal voice, and everybody should speak up if you have something to say, right? But at the same time, at the end of the day, I also feel like the inability to make a decision will kill a team, right? So at the same time,
Definitely.
you got to hear everybody's perspectives, but at the end of the day, somebody
Yeah,
has to make a hard call and make a choice, and it
I agree.
might not be the choice that everybody else wants, right?
Yeah.
So, but that's the only way to make progress, in my opinion. Otherwise, you just spin your wheels all day long, and
Yeah, yeah, of
you don't
course.
get that traction.
I mean, calling black and white as white is important, but you got to acknowledge the gray also.
Yes,
That's what
and then
basically
make
my
a call,
learning was,
even if it's the
and
wrong
then
call.
make
You
a
got to
call.
make a call, and then
Yeah,
but that's the beauty of Azure, right? Because even if you make a call, the thing is you got to get that feedback, and then see did I make the
exactly.
right call? If not, then
Yeah.
pivot immediately. Some people are just
Yes.
gonna go, they stick to their guns, right? Like we made a call, and that's the call. I'm like, well, great, but
Yeah.
why? If it was a wrong call, in retrospect, why would you keep going
Yeah.
that path?
There's
But
there's this there's this sports person. I'm pretty sure you would not know him. I mean, he's a cricketer based out of India, and there's this interview that I was reading from him, and that just stuck in my head. It said, if anything goes well for my team, it was my team's idea. If anything goes bad, then it was my idea. And that's the best recipe for a good, successful team.
I love that. I've never heard of that. Also, never played or looked or seen anything with cricket. I do know that Satya is building a cricket pitch, I think is what you guys call it, right?
Okay. Yes, that's right.
At Microsoft's campus in Seattle. But other than that, we play football.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But then again, like
And our football is not even your football because it's our
that's what I'm
football.
saying. It's not even foot and ball. It's American football, right? If you
Yeah,
have to put your country's name next to it, it's not the game.
yeah, my being Hispanic, right? We grew up with what we call soccer, or
Yeah,
everybody else calls football.
right.
And my dad just never. He's like, "Why do you watch this garbage?" And I'll do like the World Series that was what happened last year, the World Series or no, the World Cup, and I'll be like, "This is like the most boring game I've ever seen in my life.
Oh
I
my
don't
gosh.
understand it. How can you tie?"
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
We'll never see eye to eye there. All right, it's time for some shameless plugs. So if you could,
Yes.
one your favorite plugin in the marketplace, which one would it be?
Ooh, I was not prepared for this
And
question.
feel free to throw your own stuff out there, but
Can I
If you
choose
could pick
multiple?
one, what's
Can
one
I
plugin that
choose
you're always
one?
going back to?
Just one, really?
Okay, let's
Don't
do
make
two
me
or three.
choose. Let's do three. I'll
Three.
pick
Okay,
three.
give us your top
Uh,
three. Sajid's top
yes,
three.
top three. Yes, top three. Has to be custom charts for Jira or Sheet Solutions, no doubt. First plugin that I recommend to anybody that I work with who's not satisfied with the default reporting,
Which is
uh,
everybody.
which is everybody. The second one I would recommend is the Easy Agile suite of plugins. The ones, I think Easy Agile Rhythm, which is called, or Team Rhythm, or Roadmaps, which was there earlier. That is pretty good. Uh, Now I gotta choose one.
You
So
got to
I'm
pick
just
yours, man. I thought you had one that you wanted to throw out there.
no. So I would not pick our own plugin right now because it's still in its nascent stage. It's growing. So maybe somebody else will say my plugin's name in 3 months.
Maybe summer of Atlassian 3.0. We'll come back.
Yeah. Exactly. But yeah, the third one I would say, well, like, have to say is Script Runner, because if you don't have Script Runner, I think you lose half of the functionalities that you could have used. But that being said, I will put a shameless plugin of my own plugin. So my company has been working. We've been solution partners for quite a while, but we are fairly new on the marketplace partner game. And me and a couple of my team members did work and have produced one beta product and one which is fully fledged out there. It's called Smart Assignments and Rotations for Jira, which basically helps all support teams auto assign tickets. If you want a no code solution to auto assign tickets for your support teams based on geography, based on priority, based on whatever you can think of, that
Statuses
is in
too.
there. Everything.
Okay.
And
I'm gonna
the
I'm gonna
unique
give that a
factor,
go because I'm getting tired of
please,
making automation rules and workflow configurations because
yes,
every time that because a lot of teams have a very like it always should go to this person, it should go to that person.
yes.
So here I am coming in through automation rules trying to
Yes,
make it
please try that out. And I'll give you the unique pitch of our product. First of all, obviously, it was built from a use case that if you're not on premium, you might have a limited amount of automations that you can execute. The other one being it takes into consideration your availability. So if you say, hey, I work in shifts, it'll take that into consideration. It'll take your vacation into consideration. It'll take time shifts, time zones into consideration. All of that, your schedule, your availability, all of that will be taken care of.
not to put you on the spot. I'll reach out to you after. I definitely want to try this
Please
out.
do.
Maybe you guys
Awesome.
can give me a link or something for the
For
audience
sure.
here to help track.
Definitely.
Yeah. All right. Cool. Awesome. So now we're gonna get into a couple harder ones. I know we're going a little overtime. Hopefully, you still have a few
Yeah,
minutes.
I'm good.
Okay. So if you could change one thing about Atlassian and Jira, maybe you can go back to your conversations with Mike.
Ooh.
What would it be?
Uh,
What did you whisper into Mike's ear? It's like make this better.
would not change, but there is one thing that, like, I was speaking to Brittany the other day, and like she spoke what has been inside me for years, right? We would see a feature at Teams 22 or Teams 23, and it will not be available for general use till like 1 year or 2 year. The the teasing time, if we could have written that from Atlassian, it would have been just so brilliant, because I love the suite of products and I love the feature that I see. And the moment it comes out, I'm like, oh, I gotta try this. But no, you gotta wait. You gotta wait till it's available for general audience. So that the duration between the announcement and the rollout, I think that could be reduced, and that's the one thing that I would say. The other being data center in India, which we a lot of my friends, my previous firm people, my colleagues have been waiting for. We've been hearing about it from a while, and each year I feel a little stronger connection that there will be a data center in India soon, and I'm hopeful someday it will be.
Yeah, that would definitely help out with those lag times.
Yeah, not just lag times. Like there are regulations from the banking authorities, right, which restricts companies, which are banks and financial
Mm.
institutions, to put
Yeah, we have something similar here.
out. Yeah, so that's the reason they cannot, and we want to move them. They want to move, but it's just not possible.
Yeah, you got the data's got to be on your soil, type of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Awesome. I really like that. I feel like I'm so hyped up for the whiteboards and the databases in Confluence, and I got them on my horizon, but now I'm feeling kind of sad. I'm like,
Whiteboards are amazing. Let me tell you, whiteboards are amazing. So I'm lucky I got access to one Atlassian instance, which was announced for community leaders also, but has been for a
you guys
while
get
for
all the cool
partners.
stuff, man.
We do. And we like the one Atlassian instance actually has Atlassian whiteboards in alpha. And I played around with it. It's brilliant.
Oh man, I might have to make you make my video so we can publish it on my channel because I'm like, I want to make a. I met with Atlassian on Tuesday evening before the keynote, and because I made a video about like, here's why you shouldn't upgrade a Confluence Premium, right? Which is why Confluence Standard is good enough. And so they're like, hey, we want to chat. We want to talk. We want to know what would it take for you to like actually promote Confluence Premium versus Standard. And so I called out a couple of like this would be awesome if it could do, and they're like, you're gonna be
Yeah.
very excited tomorrow morning.
Nice.
But whiteboard is like I'm like I just want to collaborate with my team like right now. Like if I have an idea, we're thousands of miles, or in my case, I'm usually hundreds of miles away, right? If not thousands of miles away. I'm like, I just want to. I don't want to pull up Miro. I don't want to pull up another
Yeah.
tool. I don't want to go diagramming. So I don't need to do
Yeah.
like Sliffy. I don't need to do like the draw.io. I just want to like doodle and talk and chat
Exactly. Yeah.
and visualize, right? And
100%.
so yeah, so they're like you're excited. But now I did put my name in for the hopefully they somehow some at some point in the summer reach out. But now I'm feeling kind of sad because it might be a whole year away.
I will talk. Let's talk
Yeah.
offline.
All right.
We'll
Cool.
figure it.
Um, I know that you're more of on the agile side, right? So this question's more on like, so this one's an interesting question. I like it, right? So what I'll tell you about this question is, I can jump into any Jira in the world, and I could tell you if I've done a configuration in that Jira. I have a unique
Oh,
footprint. The way I do my configurations, the way I administer Jira, the workflows and stuff is unique. Like I feel like I can call myself out, right? And the way that you use Jira, because you say you're not an admin, right? But I'm sure that you have a technique for how you interact with Jira, right? What's something special or unique about like your style, your technique that you're like, this is such
wow.
Jira?
We all know that Jira's dashboards are a little lackluster. Wouldn't it be cool if you could significantly make your metrics and reports better? With custom charts for Jira, you can transform your raw data into stunning charts and graphs that make an impact. No more settling for the default Jira reports or spending hours manually manipulating data in a spreadsheet. Go show our friends at Old Street Solutions the power of the internet and show them your support and start a free trial to custom charts for Jira today.
Wow, that's a great question. Though, but just to clarify, I am a Jira admin. I have
Okay, so
three
you do
ACP.
okay.
Yeah,
I
yeah, I
just
have
didn't want to
three
impose. I didn't
ACPs.
want to put you on the spot. You're like, I don't do workflow configures, right? But
No,
yeah,
no,
yeah.
I do,
Like,
I do.
okay.
But I don't think I have any specific style, or at least that I've noticed. That gives me a great idea. I should actually do that,
You got to
but
trademark a
I
way of doing Jira.
yeah, I don't like. I try to keep it as basic as possible, very honestly, so that like even after when I'm like moved out of the project, whoever is the next person handling it, he can see is as close as to the way natural it would be. So I'm not like ever renamed workflows to anything. I'll try to keep it like if it's X issue type Y workflow, this purpose, then I will write it in that fashion, but I've never
No
thought of it.
polarizing methods.
Never. Wow,
Wow,
I
yeah,
feel
well,
like I missed
you got
out.
because you got to make a playbook, right? Of like the way
Yeah.
to be successful in a digital transformation, and here's what you need: A, B, C. Because that's the stuff I'm working on, right? And so, like,
Wow.
because a lot of people are like, I just need a workflow that works. So they want all the
Yeah.
steps, all the statuses, all the right transitions, and so I'm like, well, here's the one that you're gonna need, and so I'll
Nice.
make one.
Nice.
I'll make my own. So I was just curious if, like, in your coaching, if you have a recommended like, this is what you should be doing for this scenario. This is what you should be doing for this scenario.
I mean, there are some like, but I've never like again, as I said, I try to keep it as generic as I can because the amount of people. So I am very rarely in a project from inception to its closure. I am in the early days of a project when I'm setting things up. Then I hand it over to my Jira admins who work with me and they take it to completion. And then I move on to the next project.
Yeah, the
But
follow through is not so important.
yeah, no, I
Cool.
have to come back at the end because to make sure that the customer
Yeah,
is
well,
like,
well, at least I gave you some food for thought here
you
for
did, you did.
how you can take your services to the next level. um, Again, I'm still very jealous about the whole mic dinner, but what's one thing about the future of Atlassian that excites you?
Uh, Atlassian intelligence for sure has to be the answer because not just of what the capability is, but what capabilities it could bring. Like I'm very excited, and there was this community event that we did with the JIRA guy, Brittany, and Nishant from Atlassian, and we were talking about the same thing that I am a little worried and I'm a little hopeful about what Atlassian intelligence can do. Like I've spent time and energy studying JQL and like
Less
how
the
script
soul.
runner works with JQL. And somebody can just come in and type, give me this report in JQL, and Atlassian intelligence will give you that. So that concerns me a little bit because if it's a little tiny bit incorrect data, at the end of the day, the report is going to change a lot, and I'm very excited to see how that turns out. But on that, like in terms of how it will change the ecosystem, right? Will the ACP exam change because Atlassian Intelligence is helping people write JQLs
Do
now?
the whole thing,
Why
yeah.
would right? All of that, like how would dashboards uh, creation be managed using Atlassian Intelligence? That obviously is the game changer, but till what extent will the game be changed is something that I'm really looking forward to.
Yeah. I'm very curious about it now because I'm excited for it. And I'm excited because I was in the beta program for Atlassian Analytics. Now, if you've never used analytics, you need like a PhD to do this thing. It is not easy to use analytics. But the fact that they're like, you can just tell it, I want to know this, and
Yeah,
it will go and create the analytics for you, that to me is beautiful, right? Obviously, custom charges might be impacted a little bit, maybe not too much there, because this is really only an enterprise. Like you got to be
yeah,
JIRA enterprise, right? But for the common folk, it's still going to be custom charts, still going to be the route to go,
of
right?
course.
But the point that I was trying to go to though, right, is I don't know if you've just looked at people how they search things on like Google, right? There's there's an art to how you ask a question, and so I'm curious, like
Yeah,
how literal or how explicit or how defined just putting the comma in a different location in your
yeah,
statement will impact the result. So
yes.
I'm curious to see, like, it's going to enable a lot of people to find things, but how will you know if you're finding the right thing?
Yeah, exactly. That is my question. So you ask a question, you'll get an answer. But
The
what's
right
the percentages of it being 100% accurate? Because businesses don't work at 98% accuracy. If they need a report, they need it 100% accurate. They cannot work on 98% accuracy.
right.
So yeah,
No, yeah, because if you get an assumption or something like that, you latch onto it. That's a million, 2 million, 5 million, $10 million decision that you're making here
yeah,
that could have been wrong because somebody's like, well, the tool gave it to me, so it must be right.
exactly.
Like, dang. Yeah, no, now you got me worried about. I was very optimistic about that last year. Up until intelligence up until like 2 months ago.
Yeah, I was speaking to those guys about the same thing. I was like, does my ACP still have value? Do I renew it if Atlassian Intelligence is allowing everybody to write JQLs left, right, and center? But yeah,
Like,
let's see
yeah,
how it goes.
but we've seen this with coding. So my wife, she's using ChatGPT to help us write our plugin, and everybody's like, "Oh, AI is going to replace all the jobs." I'm like, "We're still like, you still need somebody at the wheel." You see,
No, definitely, you
just
do.
so they
You
can do
need
it
somebody
doesn't
at the wheel.
mean you still need to know what the heck you're doing to validate what is coming back.
Yeah,
Because if you just blindly do what it says,
yeah,
you might not go down the path you think you're going to want to go down. And if
of
you're not
course,
skilled
100%.
enough, and you're not skilled enough to recognize that you're going down the wrong path, right? Then that's going to be challenging too.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I think the game is going to change in a way where, like, so Atlassian has heavily invested in the ITSM, right? How JSM is going to, how a Jira admin or a Jira software admin will be different from a Jira service management admin is going to show its true colors in the coming months or years. Because what Atlassian Intelligence will do in Jira service management will be acting like a virtual teammate, right? Basically, with providing answers, reducing load on the agents, giving them more flexibility, more time to critically think, maybe build better workflows, maybe build better, uh, you know, better request types, whatever it is that your customer needs. So what they do will get changed. But yeah, 100% agreed. They will be on the wheel for sure.
Yeah. And I did get that it's a virtual team member, right? But what if I want an agile coach?
I don't think that job
No,
is
but
going
what's going to
anywhere.
happen to all the agile coaches, right? Like, what happens when AI does come into your agile coaches, right? Because I mean, what happens to your Scrum Master? Because your Scrum Master is supposed to be there to reinvigorate the ways of Scrum, right?
There are like I was reading about it. Like there was some add-ons which emulated what a Scrum Master should do, but I feel what Agile tells us, or what the original principles were, is that the Scrum Master is the protector of the team, right? A tool can never be the protector of a team. It can say, all right, give Alex 4 less requests or 4 less tickets in the next sprint, but it cannot enforce it. It cannot fight your battles for you.
Yeah, and it
So
won't be
Scrum,
able to understand tone. It won't be able to read a room,
yeah,
right? Because that's the big
definitely.
skill. When I ask something as a Scrum Master and I get my version of crickets and not your version of crickets, and I just get
100%.
silence, or if I hear the hesitation, right? Like it's gonna be a challenge. Like as far as AI is gonna go, like human emotion or understanding, like intent, right? Like even that the micro expressions of our faces, of our
Yeah,
thoughts, our hesitations, like that takes a human in the loop. But it also takes a human in the loop that understands empathy too, right? Like if you just have somebody that doesn't have a lot of social cues or can see a lot of social cues, they probably don't make a very good Scrum Master because
yeah,
and there's a lot of
100%.
human psychology in this Scrum Master job.
Yeah. What we were talking earlier, right? Like you writing something related to football is completely different to what I am writing football about.
Right.
So how
Very, very true.
smart will it be to be able to understand that?
Yeah, no, I mean, because we're using the exact same word, so it's going to have to be very context aware
Yeah.
of our intentions here. Yeah. Well, last question, just to kind of close things out. And I think we've kind of covered this. We sprinkled this. So if you want to summarize it or add a new thought, but a lot of people that come to my channel here, they're new, right? They're learning JIRA, they're learning Atlassian for the very first time. You've obviously been in this space for 10 years. But what secret do you have for folks wanting to get into this space? Like, how can they learn quicker? How can they accelerate the learning so that they can get rid of that imposter syndrome a little bit faster?
Uh, I think you got to try. Like unless you practice on your own, there is no amount of videos, no amount of tutorials that you can see. So you got to try. But your first step can definitely be looking at the champions who are creating content for you. Right? There's Ape Tech tutorial, there's the Jira guy, there's Brittany with her videos. There are quite a lot of champions who have picked specific tools and are delivering great content on. For people who are early starters or beginners in this space, check out those videos. What they are doing, try to emulate that in your own free instance. And that's when you start to realize, okay, what is the possibility and what is the limitation. After that, one thing I would recommend heavily is visit a local community if you have any option of. Connect with the local leader, talk to him, talk to her, share your concerns if you have any, ask questions if you have any. If you cannot, if you don't have a local community nearby, join the online community. There is plethora of information out there for free. You can just read about it. If you have a question, post about it, ask people. And the community is a very friendly space, right? You will always get somebody who responds to you, and then you can build your connections from there.
So I changed my mind. Any thoughts on my last question? I changed my mind. I want to ask you a question, but I'm trying to word it in a way that's not offensive or inappropriate. But round 2 is coming up. Ace with
Okay.
quiz, right?
Yes.
And we know who's going. We know who the teams are. Is there a way that we can maybe open up an opportunity to maybe start making predictions for who's gonna make it to the final round? Maybe,
So
maybe, maybe like because here in the US we have this thing called March Madness where we have our brackets,
yeah,
and
yeah,
you
yeah,
you
yeah.
kind of you kind of set up your brackets, right, of who you think's gonna go head to head and who's gonna get to the final round. Maybe we can do like a little prize for who gets it type of thing.
So officially, let me, and this might be a little post event thing, right? So like I'm telling this to you today, but by the time this will come out, QuizWiz would have already started.
Yeah.
So we are doing the first elimination round starting 2nd June, right? So we have 26 teams. That means by the end of 26 rounds of event or 13 rounds of events, we would have 13 teams. We are planning something like that. We
Okay,
will have
so
a Trello where you can make predictions out of those 13 teams, because 26 is a very
maybe
big
I think
number to
it'll
make.
add more fun to people that are not participating but are going to be following along with the
Yeah, yeah,
journey.
yeah, yeah.
This is why we
Yeah.
watch sports, right?
Yeah, this week we actually will publish the full, and you will obviously, your team will also get an email within tonight or tomorrow itself. Sarika is working on it.
Yeah.
So all the team and their opponents have been finalized. The dates have been assigned. Is just the email has to go out confirming those dates. When those are done, a full public picture will be posted out. And when
Nice.
we have the official 13 winners, then we will open up that pool. Let's see how
I'm
that
looking
goes.
forward to it. I don't even know how to plan for this, but I know I got my butt kicked last time, and that round was hard. It was definitely.
We've made some changes, so it should be a little more fun this time. A little more
I just
trickier,
don't
but a
even know.
little more.
Like, I'm just gonna go study Atlassian.com and anything goes. Like everything under the Atlassian.star domain. Know it all.
Yes.
All right. So just I love watching Hot Ones. I don't know if you've ever seen that podcast, but where can
Yeah.
people find you?
I'm on LinkedIn. You can find me on LinkedIn. I am on Atlassian Community at Sajit Nair, Sajit_Nair, I believe. But yeah, you'll find me with a hat on. That's that's maybe
So
the
LinkedIn
way
and the
to.
community. Okay, no
Yeah,
YouTube or
LinkedIn
anything
and
else?
community. Not specifically. We have the QuizWiz channel. You can reach
Well,
out
definitely
on the
bring.
QuizWiz.
Yeah, we'll put some
Yeah.
links. I've
Yes.
subscribed. Follow
Yes.
along.
Definitely. The first season is out there with Robert Wen, who was the winner. He's defending his title on the first quiz on 2nd of June. And yeah, Alex will put out the quiz link. Check out the first season. Join us for the second
Yeah,
one.
we'll be
In the
sponsoring it.
tag
And
team
we'll be
edition.
promoting it.
We are very, yeah, we're very, very, very excited.
Oh, I mean, I want revenge. But I'm very competitive, but I hate losing, which is why I hate doing games. So I hate losing, and it's just like I'm a very bad loser. Like I don't like losing, but at the same time, like that's why I don't get hyped up because I'm like, man, if I'm not in it to win it, and I don't see a clear path for victory, then I'm like, I don't even want to try it because I know I'm not gonna win. I'm just gonna be disappointed.
You got it, right? You got to try, only then you'll know. So like last year, and it's a little vanity as well, right? The last year we had the literal crown as the prize for QuizWiz, apart from obviously the vouchers and hoodies and t-shirts and everything. We had a little crown that Robert Wen was wearing throughout Teams 23, if you've seen them during the team events.
Yeah, no, that makes more sense now too.
This year we have those WWE style belts, so we're gonna have those as tag team champion winners. So yeah,
Yeah,
it'll be fun.
awesome.
Team 24, somebody would be wearing a belt. Could be Alex.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you for taking the time. I know we definitely went a little over, but hopefully you have fun and hopefully people get to know you a
Yes.
little bit more. I think there's so many people behind the scenes that make this community great, and it's just an opportunity to kind of hear their life story. Because once people know you a little bit more, then they tend to follow you a little bit more, right? They want a little bit more insight
Yeah.
into who you are. So thank you very much for participating. We'll be posting this as soon as possible, and appreciate you taking the time here. And have a good night.
Thank you.
I'll get
Thank
my
you,
day
Alex.
started. All right.
Take care. Bye, everybody. Have a good one.
And that was the interview with Sajit. Please don't make sure to subscribe, as that really does help the channel grow. Don't forget that this video is part of the Summer of Atlassian 2.0 series, so every single subscription counts. So make sure you're smashing that subscribe button right now. Take control of your data. Custom Charts for JIRA offers an extensive range of chart types and customization options, whether it's a bar chart, pie chart, or line chart, or pretty much a bunch of other different types of charts that they have. Create stunning visuals that represent your data in JIRA accurately, tailored specifically to your specific needs. Head on over to the Atlassian Marketplace and show Old Street Solutions the power of the internet and start a free trial of Custom Charts for JIRA today. Make sure you drop a like if you got value, and also share this video with your friends, coworkers, teammates, anybody and everybody that you think would benefit from watching this amazing interview. Thanks, and I'll see you in the next one.
I love the chase and the hunt, and I set the pace when I'm running. I always take what I want and I always give it 100. Don't need